Yeah, I asked my parents because the thing is, like, I think I got my "I don't believe in ghosts" vibe from my dad
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of my similarities are from my dad in that way because
yeah,
he's a very skeptical kind of sciencey guy
yeah.
like that. And I remember I was on holiday with my parents last year when I went to Sicily,
Hmm.
and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and my brother had gone to sleep,
Yeah.
and we were just and then I just decided to ask them. I was like, "Mum, Dad, do you believe in ghosts and the paranormal?" And I was like, "Well, do you believe in aliens?" My mum and dad were like, "Well, yeah, with there's probably other life in the universe." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, what about ghosts?" And they were like, "Yes." And I was
What?
like,
Just yes.
"Excuse me." And then my dad was literally just like, "Yes." And I was like, "Well, why?" And he was like, "Well, weird things have happened." And I was just like, "Okay, I don't know." And okay, well, one of the things, apparently, this is a story my dad told me. My dad lived briefly in Vietnam
Right.
because his dad, my granddad, was in the RAF. So they moved around with my granddad as he was put in different RAF posts around the world.
Okay.
So they all moved to Vietnam. This was only for like a year.
Yeah.
And there was like a rice field outside the house. And like my brother and his uncle Christopher used to have bedrooms that looked out onto the field together,
Yeah.
and they said that during one winter it would be really really foggy,
Mm.
and they looked out the window and there was just a dog just like staring at
A
them. I
ghost
mean,
dog?
there's dogs everywhere,
Okay.
and just like packs of dogs that are
Yeah.
like wild dogs, but there was just this black dog that was just staring at them, like even though
Ooh.
they're on the second floor, there was just this dog that was staring at them, and it just used to sit there for like 20 minutes, but it used to like run away whenever they went outside,
Yeah.
and like it used to come back like I think it was like every Tuesday or something specifically. So I don't know why, like whoever owned the dog let it out or something, but the
Yeah.
dog just used to like wait outside every Tuesday and just sit right in the middle of this field, just staring up at them. And then this went on for like a month or something. But then it was like a random night when their parents weren't there,
Yeah.
and they heard growling outside the back door, and then the dog was just sat right outside their porch. Then they didn't want to open it because they get like rabies or
Mhm.
something. But my dad opened the door for a bit, and then the dog just started barking like crazy. Like it didn't come in the house, but this dog just started barking at them. Like
Yeah.
it was like it had gone like a crazy rabid dog. So my dad and my uncle were just freaked out as kids because there was this crazy dog that was just barking and barking and barking, and they said that
Mm.
it did it for like 20 minutes, and it just wasn't there anymore.
Ooh.
And then then it left, and then
Yeah.
their parents came back, and they were like, "Well, it was obviously just a stray dog. Don't open the door to it; it could bite you or something like that." And then that night, they heard like howling in the
Yeah.
night, and they woke up, and the next Tuesday, the dog was dead in the middle of the field.
Oh.
They said that they just looked outside the window, and the dog was just dead in the middle of the field.
Oh. That's scary.
Yeah. But then they asked some woman, and apparently the dog was owned by the guy that used to live in the house.
Right.
So the dog used to come back to the house because
Oh.
that's where his owner lived. So obviously, like the guy died, and because it was in Vietnam, it wasn't very organized. So the
Yeah.
dog was just let go, and it used to come back to the house.
Yeah.
And then the dog was just dead, but it was in exactly the same place that it would
That's
always be.
so weird.
Yeah. And they said that they were just like freaked out. They said that the weird thing was that they just look out their window at night,
Mm.
and then this dog would just be sat there staring up.
Ugh.
Like it's not just a dog. It was just imagine looking out your window into a cornfield or rice field, whatever it is, and then just
Yeah.
seeing a dog looking up at you. And I'd be like, okay,
I think like
y'all needs to go. I'm calling the pound people.
looking out my window at a cornfield would be scary enough.
Yeah.
Seen too many.
Never mind
signs.
a freaky black dog that would go mental and then suddenly die.
No.
No. Fortunately, he then moved back to England, where there were less freaky dogs. But yeah.